Hey there, instructional designers. Welcome to another mini video lecture, this one on the structured academic controversy model, which is a cooperative learning model. This model is designed to harness the power of conflicts in classrooms, and it's based on the belief that intellectual conflict is healthy and that students need to be trained in how to discuss controversial topics. It's a discussion that moves beyond either-or debates to understanding alternative positions and formulating syntheses, bringing ideas together, forming a compromised position. This model works particularly well when students are in groups of four. So within those groups of four, then you have two pairs, and each pair takes on their own position. So the steps in this model are that students first prepare their position. So you would provide students with whatever their starting positions are, giving them materials, resources to help develop their arguments for their position. So they have some time to collaborate with their partner to prepare their positions. And then step two, the students present and advocate their positions. So the first pair presents, the second pair is just listening at this point. And then the second pair presents, the first pair is just listening at this point. It's not until step three that then there's open discussion and rebuttal. So the first maybe 2 minutes or 3 minutes where the students are presenting, they are just presenting. The other pair can be writing down things, making note of things they want to bring up in the open discussion and rebuttal. But that step two should be just each pair presenting without any kind of discussion yet. So after that open discussion and rebuttal session, they reverse positions. So this is why, this is one of the reasons why this is different from a debate, in that each group argues both positions. So after they reverse positions, both pair has to start again, preparing their positions. And the challenge here is to try and come up with arguments that are different from those that were presented the first time around. So then again, the first pair presents, second pair is listening, second pair presents, first pair is listening. Again, we open it up for open discussion and rebuttal after each has had a chance to present. After that, the groups come together, those two pairs come together to synthesize their positions and try and integrate the best evidence from both arguments into a joint position. So again, unlike a debate where you're trying to argue folks to an extreme side, this is about trying to argue toward a middle shared compromise position. Then each group, so each pair of pairs, presents their group synthesis to the whole class. And then the whole class processes the controversy and the participation of the members in that controversy. So when we think about this model, our authors say that most researchers agree that groups are cooperative when there is a commonly or closely related set of goals, there's equal distribution of labor in meeting the goals, close contact as the goals are being pursued. Face-to-face interdependence and individual accountability are the hallmarks of a cooperative learning. So if you remember from the Jigsaw cooperative learning video, we talked about those pies, the positive interdependence, the individual accountability, the equal participation, and the simultaneous interaction. So all four of those elements are also vital in the also in the Jigsaw, but also in the structured academic controversy model. So you can take this opportunity to think about, how does cooperative learning compare to group work? What are the similarities and differences? How do the responsibilities change when you're thinking about cooperative learning versus group work for students? How do they change for teachers? What do we need to do so that we can set up effective cooperative learning opportunities rather than simply putting students in groups to work? So an example of what this might look like is in a Virginia and United States government class, which is taken by all the seniors in the Commonwealth. This could be used to explore the objectives of students will know the political philosophies that shaped the development of Virginia and United States constitutional government, and that they can construct an informed analytic argument using evidence from multiple sources to introduce and support substantive and significant claims. So if you remember from our primary source document analysis video, the Stanford History Education Group has lots of great resources. This lesson actually comes from them. So another shout out to the Stanford History Education Group and primary source document analysis. And we're starting to see the ways in which these models can be integrated and that they don't have to stand alone, that we can find ways to combine them to engage our students in these interactive learning experiences. So to provide a little bit of background about Athenian democracy, which is a foundation for our own democratic government, the Stanford History Education Group gives us a little background. They define democracy, show the etymology of that comes from the Greek for demo, or the people, and kratia, power or rule. So it means rule by the people is the literal translation of the word democracy. In Athenian democracy, they had the assembly, the council of about 500 folks, and the courts. So 3 branches, one might say, of government. So the central historical question that they pose is, was ancient Athens truly democratic? So if you're using this in your classroom, you would give students an opportunity to prepare their positions. One might be that Athens was truly democratic and Athens was not truly democratic. And the Stanford History Education Group gives us resources that we can use to help develop these positions. So as students work through this, ultimately, when they get down to step 6, they're going to have worked together in their groups to integrate the best evidence into a joint position about whether or not Athenian democracy was truly democratic, and share that out with the whole class before the group processing of the controversy itself and the participation of the members. So as you're thinking about using a model like this, think about, how are you going to evaluate individual accountability within this? What will you look for from students? What will they turn in at the end of this so that you can verify that everyone participated equally? And as a side note here, when I've used this lesson in the past, a conversation came up about representative democracy and the notion of direct democracy, and does that exist in our country? And while we know that it doesn't really, there's not a direct democracy at the federal level, we do know that a lot of local legislations are influenced directly, where individual voters are voting for laws, for ballot initiatives. So the mental image that I have of this is the town meeting in Gilmore Girls. They are directly, individuals are directly voting on rulings that impact their lives. So check out some of the resources from the Stanford History Education Group. Think about that question. Was Athenian democracy truly democratic? Maybe this is a cooperative learning strategy that you've experienced before. Maybe think about, how does this relate to debating and the differences there, and what advantages and disadvantages the 2 different models might have as you engage students in this engaging constructively in academic controversy. If you try this out, let me know how it goes.